Hello, Coordinated Cast. This is Crimson, and you're watching some Dungeon Siege 3. Now, pick up where you left off after chasing Jane out of her spire back to the Mournwell, where the seed of creation has grown and been corrupted by her, and now she's using it to call these abominations into reality, and we're going to stop her. But it's not her we need to stop, it's the abomination she's creating. So we're going to get that taken care of. It's a nice view there. Hey, Jane. You don't realize that you're doing evil stuff here?
What is? So you followed me here. You are stubborn, and I admire you for that.
Really?
But you should never have come. I have restored the Archons to life, just as I promised.
You didn't restore them to life. You created their lives.
All this for what? To win a crown?
Yes. To take back this kingdom, as is my right. The Archons are not all that has returned. The power of creation still lives in this grove, and anything can be born anew. Even the creator gods themselves.
Something is taking shape. There, in front of the tree.
You're creating God just to get your kingdom. You are a little girl. You want a pony that bad? Well, guess we know what the final boss is. A weird water tree thing. Well, you're pretty big. Made out of water. Looks like you need a manicure. Whoa. How am I going to hit you? Do I hit your hands? There we go. Burn, hand. Oh god. I didn't like fighting you, David things, so that's why I ran right past you. Ow. Well, that hurt. Let's use this to get her back up. I would like to use this to get you back up. Like it's not going to work out that way. I'm on fire, I think? Ah, but friendly fire from you. Ah, I can get you back up. Thank you, corrupted creator. Looks like I do a good amount of damage to you. Whoa! Ow. Okay, those track pretty well. Katarina, can you help me out here? Looks like you have... no. Oh, you... yes! Alright. Alright, so definitely have to worry about your blue orbs. What is this attack? Well, your arm doesn't do damage, so I can just hang out here. Got a chance. Oh, gotta worry about that, definitely. They track very well and do a lot of damage. And she's gonna do the claw thing, but I think she'll get me up in time? Yes, alright. And this is summoning. No, it was fire, but I managed to hurt your hand before that? Alright. 3 rocks. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna have to hit your other hand since I broke your claw off of that. Oh, I broke your whole arm. Alright. So I guess I'll have to move on to arm, then face. Oh god. Evil goop. Oh, evil goop. Ads! Fish ads! Oh, data too. That's bad. Ow! Well that hurt. I'm not fighting. Oh, whoa, laser beams. Watch out for laser beams. Okay. And those fish things definitely hurt. Oh, I didn't get my invulnerability on it. Well, there's the final boss fight. Hopefully we'll have a bit smoother time here. Alright, I'll put this down here and so I can move his hand right into it. I'll just wail on him a little bit. You're gonna do a fire under me, right? No, just something like that. But they're a pain to deal with. Alright. Let's get my knight up so we can get some more damage in. Oh, it's their fire. That's it. Beware. I am aware. Looks like I can get some nice damage in on his hand. Break it off nice and quick. Alright, he's doing that attack. Yeah, that went a lot better, since I was able to focus on doing damage and not trying to learn his attacks. So, now this phase is just summoning a ton of ads, which is quite scary. So he's drawing power from the tree, from the forest. Alright, so be ready to deal with all this. Can't stand in it. Alright, get that fire off so then try to dodge a bit while the fire goes, and I can't dodge that way. I got the fire. Alright, let's get the dog to back that up. Yeah, that's a lot of it. And I gotta be extra cautious of this laser beam. Alright, there we go. Katarina's still up. Oh god. Alright. Woo. Okay, that could have gone better. Bring your hand back, please. I would like to be able to hurt you. Winning the DPS race seems like a better strategy. Whoa! Okay, so that sound was you charging up a 2,000 damage breath attack, and then you got tired and fell over.
Thank you.
And now I torch you. Oh no! No! I don't want to do the ad phase again. I really don't want to do the ad phase again. Please. Please, I don't like this phase. Well. Alright, do some Draken Wilds. Back in Warfare Coffers. And there's another Deva. I'm taking 10 damage. There's some Archon's coming down and the laser beam. I need to dodge. Do nothing but dodge. The laser beam doesn't kill the fish things. So I'm slowed. Oh, is laser beam only slow? Oh, they died for some reason. Oh god, don't spit on me, bro. Oh, and you killed the guys with your spit. And I can just get the whale on me. Oh, that's great. Alright, get that. Attack! Burn! Burn! Die. No! 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 Come on, just a little bit more. Ah, so close. I tried. Alright, so run, essentially, is the plan. Oh, I get some good procs there. Oh, look at that go. Oh, it's because that big guy is surviving in the fire. Okay, dodge, spam. Got my dog up and Katarina's up to distract them until he spits. Now I'm being tracked by the Deva's fires. Let's go the other way with this. Alright, so I'm not going to waste anything here since they're all going to follow her on the way. So do I hide behind this? Is that how this happens? Yep, that's exactly how it happens. And you are so dead, guy. Burn! Alright. Wasn't so bad, just gotta make it through the ad phase. What? Did I blow up your other hand? I thought I blew up your face. That's very white. Oh, do you just have two phases?
They are gone. The voices of my mother's gods. I cannot hear them anymore. Not even a whisper.
They are lost. You will not see them or hear them ever again.
You lie, child. Or whatever you truly are behind that innocent face.
No, Jane Cassandra. I speak the truth. What remained of your mother's gods has been destroyed. And the power of creation has fled this grove. It will never return.
Well, that's good. Don't want anyone to have godlike powers. We're gonna make do with what we have, then.
That power was dangerous. Better that it's gone.
No. It was precious. My mother searched for thousands of years, and this was the only remnant of her gods that she ever found.
The power in this forest might have been used to restore the old gods and all their servants to life. Not the twisted half-life that you gave them, Jane Cassinder. A true rebirth, as they were at the dawn of the world. But you called upon that power to destroy, not to create. You twisted the power of creation to your own ends, until all that was left was an empty shell, rotted from within. And now, it is gone.
Creation is a lot better than destruction. That boss fight only had 2 phases.
The forest was already corrupted, even before Jane tried to call the Archons back to life.
The first time Jane called on the power of the old gods, it was to murder Hugh Montbaron 30 years ago. She knew she was misusing that power, but she was too full of anger, and she didn't care. After that, the Mournweald grew rotten and sick. All its potential for good was lost.
Really, Jane? You're that evil? You were so mad that your father went crazy and had to be put down, that you took the power of all of creation and turned it evil.
So she came back, and made the same mistake a second time.
Yes, driven by anger again. So the Archons that she called back to life were nothing but monsters. It was the same for the Creator God. The creature that you fought was shaped by Jane's fury and guilt.
Guilt?
Yes, Jane Cassinder. You can hide your remorse from yourself, but you cannot hide it from me.
That's good that you feel bad. You should perhaps stop doing bad things, and then admit what you did was bad, and then not do it again.
Why did this power respond to Jane, and no one else?
Jane's mother was first sister. When she died, her fire passed to Jane. The first sister stood at the right hand of her gods. Only pale shadows of their minds persisted in this grove, but they remembered her. That is why Jane saw her gods in visions and dreams, just as her mother did before her. And that is why Jane could unlock the power that was buried here.
So because Jane had to grow up without a mom, and her dad went crazy because her mom died and giving birth to her, that's what caused all this?
And the Archons I fought in the forest? The ones that Jane restored to life?
Dead. Wilted like blossoms, and scattered to the wind. When you slew the reborn god, all Jane's creations were undone. In time, the forest will recover. But it will be ordinary, no longer the Mournweald, with the power of creation at its heart.
The power is still going to be here. There's just a forest with the power of all creation just going to be like hanging out. It's like, yeah, just come to the center of me. Use the power of creation, do whatever you want, man. Yeah, true.
We have a decision to make. What to do with Jane.
Not yet. There is one thing more.
One more thing.
The other Archons did not lie. You died in this forest. And 30 years ago, you were given new life. Here in this grove.
Wow.
So the Creator Gods, whatever remained of them, they called me back to life.
That may be. Yes.
Why?
If they gave me new life, it was just after Jane destroyed the Legion. The forest was already becoming corrupt.
Perhaps the Creator Gods knew they were doomed, and they wanted you to destroy them, to undo Jane's mistake. We'll never know for sure, but if that's true, then you've honored them.
And Jane? What of her?
Think of all the people who call this woman a saint. Do you truly want her blood on your hands?
No.
I expect no mercy from the Legion. Do as you like.
I really want to hear what you have to say.
Before I pass judgment on you, I want to know why you acted as you did. Honestly, and in your own words.
Why did I slaughter so many Legionnaires who had no part in killing my father, the king? I was young, full of anger. My father was dead by the Legion's hand. So I raised an army. I swore to avenge him myself, if I had to carve my way through every chapter house in Ebb. If the other Legionnaires had handed over Mont Baron, I would never have hunted them down. But they were so stubborn, so loyal to their chief. That was wrong of me. I should not have punished the whole Legion for Mont Baron's sin.
Well, you did. You were crazy.
You're sorry for killing the Legionnaires, but not for killing Mont Baron.
No. I would kill him again. He murdered my father. And I don't care what his reasons were. You asked for honesty. There you have it.
If he didn't kill your father would have killed several other people and perhaps even you. So, yeah, that's a tough one. Perhaps if they were more skilled they could have restrained him, but somehow he died. I'm sorry for that.
The Mornweald was sacred to your people, and especially to your mother. Why would you confront the Legion here?
Mont Baron lured me to this place. Somehow, he knew what I was. And he knew that this forest was sacred to me. He believed that I would never dare to strike him down. Not in the presence of my mother's gods.
And you did anyway.
He was wrong. You used the power of the Mornweald against him.
Mont Baron was so arrogant. So sure that he'd outmaneuvered me. That smug look on his face, with no hint of remorse for what he'd done. That was what doomed him, most of all. I will never understand why the forest allowed him to enter, when so many others were kept out.
It was testing you. It wanted to give you a chance to forgive.
Unless your gods meant to test you. Perhaps they wanted to know if your devotion to them was stronger than your rage.
I never thought of that. If that is true, then I failed them.
That you did. Pretty easy to see.
You've told me why you destroyed the Legion, but why fight a war with the Queen?
I will answer your question with one of my own. Do you believe that Rosalind would make a stronger queen than me? My father was a king. My mother a chief among her people and chosen of her gods. I have made mistakes, yes, but I know how to lead. And Rosalind, she has the heart of a lamb. Would you trust the rebuilding of this kingdom to a sheltered little girl?
Yeah, she'll have trouble on her own. But she's not a manipulative, mean lady.
Rosalind is stronger than you think, and stubborn as well.
Stubborn? Yes. I suppose she must be, to stand against me for so long. But she is still young and untested. You may think that she is strong, but she has never ruled in her own right. Now you expect her to rebuild a kingdom, with only a few scattered legionnaires to help her. I warn you, that will be an even greater challenge than defeating me.
Well, we always got the power of all of creation if it's that bad. I'm sure we'll figure it out, without you stopping us.
I have no more questions. I've made my decision.
And I am ready for your judgment, though I know what it will be.
Tempting, but that's never the answer. I want to give you the opportunity to redeem yourself and do that. Although it's not going to be easy. I have to try hard to keep you in check, but I believe you can do it, Jane.
No, you won't die today. I promised Rosalind that I'd spare your life.
Little Queen Mouse. I owe my life to that cringing girl. That is a fine irony. Am I to be your prisoner, then? Paraded through the streets in a gilded cage.
That sounds like the Queen would do. Or you could stand trial with people who wouldn't understand. Exiled so you can't help, or Hey, you could help.
Atone for all the suffering you've caused. Help us to rebuild the kingdom.
You are not the Legion I remember. They were arrogant, and they would never have proposed such a thing. Very well. You have my promise. I will use what influence I have to help you heal this country. Let the war between us end.
What?
By those words, Jane Cassinder, you are bound to the Legion now.
It's over then.
For now, you deserve a rest. But it may be short-lived.
Jane's just sudden realization, Jane? The Legion, our war. How about that?
Not all of Jane's followers will accept her defeat.
No, they will not. The country is still divided against itself. And the Legion has old enemies. They have not forgotten you. Some may be far worse than Jane. But you've shown yourself to be fair, as well as strong. Whatever happens, the people of Ebb will stand behind you.
We should leave this place, no? Our future lies far from here.
We part ways then. I will be watching. And one day, I will see you again.
We've got the power of all creation in our backyard. I'm not too worried about other old enemies.
You bid farewell to the Radiant Youth, and he sent you back to our chapter house in Stonebridge, where I awaited your return. In the weeks that followed, news spread of Jane Cassinder's defeat. Her army scattered, giving us time to rest and regroup. Martin Guiscard returned safely from the Spire, along with Meister Wolf and the Automaton army. Only a few weeks later, elections were held in Stonebridge. Meister Wolf, who had been so public in his support of the Legion, almost won the office of mayor. But he was defeated in the end.
Because I didn't do side
Many
quests?
people had wanted the dapper old gent to hang. They resented the fact that the Legion had spared his life, and they blamed poor Wolf. After the humiliating events at the Foundry, Meister Castle was forced to resign as Guildmaster of Ironmongers. The Cyclopses negotiated a new contract for higher wages, and with the help of Meister Fiddlewick, formed a new workers' union. For the first time in 100 years, they were permitted to leave the Foundry and spend their newfound wealth in the markets and taverns of Stonebridge. Cyclopses are becoming an increasingly common sight in Stonebridge, and many believe that they will eventually take their place as equal citizens of the town. Archambault du Payen, formerly known as the Dapper Old Gent, proved a valuable addition to the Legion. His knowledge of Legion magic allowed us to retake control of the sentinels that had long guarded our chapter houses and estates. But the Gent couldn't leave our chapter house without drawing an angry mob. His confinement started to drive him mad. So he returned to his beloved causeways, beneath an endless sky, and he dwells there still. With the reopening of the Heroes Crypt, pilgrims returned to the Rukenval, and merchants followed. The following winter was harsh, just as Lazar Basili feared. But thanks to the trade from the south, the people of Ravensrill stayed warm and fed. When spring came, many more pilgrims arrived, and the town of Ravensrill grew wealthy again. Lazar and his people built a new stone wall around the town, and reclaimed their abandoned houses and farmsteads from the forest. It is a happy change of fortune for a long-suffering town. In his last letter to me, Lazar added one other piece of news. Gunderic Manor has a new mistress, a witch called Leona. The manor has become a gathering place for scores of Escanzi witches, many of whom are apparently quite beautiful. Lazar reports that the young men of Ravensrill have also begun frequenting the manor, much to the irritation of their mothers and wives. Since the local men will not hear any talk of banishing the witches, it appears that Leona and her people have found a new home, which was perhaps what she intended from the start. Queen Rosalind abandoned Glitterdale, embarking on a tour of all the cities and towns of the West. meeting as many of her subjects as she could. The Queen showed all the energy of youth, and I think she fully expects to reunite the country in a matter of months, not years. Reality may not be so kind as Lord Devonsey has tried to make her understand. In truth, the future of this country depends more upon what we decide. If she doesn't have the Legion behind her, the Queen is only a single voice, well-meaning though she might be. As for Devonsey himself, I think the man was impressed by your decision to spare Jane Cassander, as the Queen had asked. When he last visited Stonebridge, he spent a great deal of time in our chapter house. I believe he might actually be willing to rejoin our ranks, if we choose to accept him. Rajani and her sisters returned to Stonebridge, quietly and carefully disguised. Jane Cassander's defeat affected them deeply, though not in the way I expected. Their devotion to Jane was replaced by a deep admiration for you. I think they see in you the leader they should have followed all along, and they have lately expressed a desire to join our ranks. I maintain my suspicion of any Archon who once followed Jane, but I believe that redemption is not impossible, even for them. Jane Cassander was as good as her word, though I had my doubts at first. She returned to the cities and towns of the East and urged the people to end their war with the Legion and the Crown. Jane's repentance was heartfelt, and many were swayed by her words. But others have not been so compliant. The Church Synod in Bisselberg, who once called Jane a saint, have declared her apostate and threatened her life. Though Jane refuses bodyguards of any kind, Queen Rosalind fears for her life. And if anything befalls her, our gains in the East may yet be lost. As for the Legion, the rest of our story is yet to be told. We have a nation to reforge, a fellowship to rebuild, and old enemies who would see us destroyed. And we have questions to decide. Who will assume true power in Ebb if the nation is restored? And who will take the mantle of Grand Mastery? But these matters I leave for another chronicle, and another time. Whatever happens, know that you will not face the future alone. The Legion will stand by you, always.
Well, there you have it. Dungeon Siege 3, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, I actually quite enjoyed that. The difficulty was refreshing, although, as you could tell, maybe it was the DLC area, or it was because it did actually fall off a little at the end. It seems like there was much less going on at the end of the game than there was at the start of the game. And the enemy variety, maybe another set of enemies I could have used, but solid nonetheless. Then of course the story elements were there, even though I didn't get into the lore at all. I still enjoyed the story as it progressed, how the quest I chose to do affected things at the end there. Because I was a little unhappy that the old gent was just the jerk the whole time and only cared about the Legion. I wanted him to use his powers to help the city of Stonebridge redeem himself and root out the evil corruption there. Instead, he was just some jerk who only helped the Legion and got mad and just lived in the causeways. But maybe that's because I didn't do all the side quests in Stonebridge. That could have contributed there. And my decisions did have a big impact, it seemed. It looked like there were several alternate endings I could have had, even though most of the decisions boiled down to kill or let live. But I was quite happy with it. And good luck to any of those guys who think they can assassinate Jane. She is the first Flame Archon. I mean, I had to deal with her all that time, jeez. And hopefully the little Queen Rosalind will manage to get some things, and however the French people like to rebuild and do that, it'll end out well. Surprised that no sequels have really been mentioned. It's just the one trip to Egypt DLC, but it worked out. We'll see how all that goes. There was gear that you could gear your character towards being more tanky, more damagey, more auto attack damage or ability damage. And then not only could you customize that with the gear and loot you found that you were rewarded for exploring, doing side quests and such, but you got to customize the gear through essences. So if a piece of gear that you found with a really good stat, but you really wanted Chaos Vampire on it or something like that, you'd be able to customize your gear to an extent, which is good. Great balanced mechanic. Definitely enjoyable. Customized my gameplay well. Would have liked to have enjoyed another character's playstyle in there, but yeah, I liked my character, abilities I had. And all the other characters had their own fun things, and the dialogue, definitely a lot of fun in there. The designs and art assets were surprisingly good for a game with this perspective. And that's it. So, again, thank you all so very much for watching. And my hat is off to you.